Hey, how you doing? Tony Wasinski, official editor of the podcast, Redline Radio. Frankie Bergasetti is not with here, but my nephew Dave is.
It was a great night out in Pittsburgh, PA. The city of the steel, or is it the irons?
I think it's just metals in
Alloys and aluminums and all that. I got to say, it's pretty with all the hills out here. And with all the fall and the foliage. Is it foliage or foliage?
It's whatever you want to make it.
It's one of the F words, but it was great to enjoy yet another Bears loss with some great tasting, less filling Miller Lite.
Amen. And cheers to keeping things uncomplicated. Even though the Bears are losers, we are winners with our Miller Lite. Since 1975, Miller Lite has been the best beer you can and taste you can depend on.
Amen to that, Reverend.
So Miller Lite, if you guys get a chance, go to MillerLite.com/redline, MillerLite.com/redline. It's MillerLite.com/redline. For all delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories, 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Amen, Reverend.
Hey, how you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Chicago sports fans. This is Barstool Carl.
And White Sox Dave.
It's Chief.
This is Redline Radio, an all-gas, no-break Chicago sports podcast brought to you by Miller Lite and Barstool Chicago. We are without Eddie. We are in a Wyndham hotel room. If you're watching this on YouTube, the visual might be startling.
I'm sure it's that's putting it nicely because this camera's piped in.
You might
right
have
here.
like a halo over your head.
On my nutsack. What do you mean a halo?
Like
oh yeah, I might have a little halo.
The lighting's good, Dave. You look great.
I don't feel great.
You don't.
I don't feel great.
He was lying to you. You don't look good.
I know that.
Yeah.
I actually took a shower nap
This morning.
I took a shower nap this morning.
In a hotel.
Shower naps.
That's gross.
No, Dave.
All you gotta do is just
a continental breakfast and a shower nap in a hotel.
Do not shit talk a continental breakfast. Typically,
What the fuck is wrong with you?
a hotel has good like sometimes they have like an omelet station and everything.
Not at a Wyndham. Not at a Wyndham.
You can find them at a Wyndham, I'm sure. But
Shout out Wyndham. Bears lose a heartbreaker last night. We were in the suite for Pittsburgh. I thought it was for a second. That's a good
Missed the last second field goal.
What?
That's
all that mattered went well last night. I thought
Justin Fields.
he looked great.
Yeah,
And there's still a lot to improve on. Like there was a couple times it was on the Godwin play that I did not think was catch. They kept it a catch. They ruled it a catch on the field. Didn't overturn it.
I thought they changed that
was
rule
late on
drastically this year too.
They did. I think it might have been before last year.
It was like a year or two where they drastically were
Right.
like, "Hey, if it's even close to being a catch, and they go down and they drop it or something." But
Right,
That's
yeah.
a good point.
I mean, he never had. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But
yeah.
My point was like as good as Fields was, there was areas of improvement. That one stuck out to me because he was late.
That was the
on
only
that.
call they got all night too.
That was the only call they got all night, and I was kind of scanning through Twitter a little bit while that happened, and I saw like Steelers Twitter kind of going fucking crazy, like, "Oh, Bears fucking it's Bears and the refs against the Steelers, blah blah blah." You guys saw that fucking taunting play, right? Because I didn't see it in real time.
I didn't see it live. I saw it this morning.
I saw it this morning too, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding
Good
me?"
old fashioned hip check.
The ref, what a cocksucker that guy is. The way he held his hand up there, it was like Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Like he left it up there like a follow through like Steph Curry.
And it was swish, and he knew there was nothing that anybody could do about it because he was the one with the flag.
Can I
we
say
get jobbed by refs. That was tough.
Yeah. The Marsh, fuck him too though.
Oh, yeah,
that
that's stupid.
celebration with like the double karate kick in the air, like, dude.
Who the fuck is he? He got signed off the practice squad prior to this game. You know that, right?
So I was talking.
You can't do that.
Hey,
unless you
Bill
have-
Belichick says celebrate big plays because it's hard to make big plays.
I was in the lobby this morning with a couple of yinzers, and they said that he spent time here, that guy. He spent time in Pittsburgh. He spent time in New England. And he's like a practice squad guy. I don't think that you can do a flying karate kick after a sack. I don't think you can do it. And then where was he going? Like, like Roquan had to like pull him back to the sidelines, and then he got hip checked.
Yeah,
so
that's
he was
tough.
being an asshole too.
Yeah,
but the ref was being a cocksucker.
Okay,
also.
so at what point? Let's just take a step back because coming out here, I don't think we necessarily expected the Bears to win. Obviously, 7-point underdogs. I thought game aside, I thought our setup in the suite was interesting. It was cool to watch a game with
Awesome.
Jersey Jerry, and I know you guys had like a crazy time at the tailgate and all that shit. Was there a point in the game where you guys go from, obviously when it started, I'm checked out. I'm like, we're fucked.
Yeah.
14-0. But then it's like 14-3 at half. And like the Bears came out in the third quarter and kind of fucking just flipped the switch, like boom, right away. And then the whole box was like, wait a second, who's holding Bears money line tickets?
Yeah.
I don't know who gets credit for that, but there was a point in the game where like, so I don't know if that's
Matt
Fields.
Nagy.
I don't know if
think
that's
we
the
got to
fucking
credit Matt
offensive
Nagy
line
for instilling a never die attitude in this team.
I hate you so much.
Well, I mean, they did quit.
Yeah.
I expected them to roll over and let the Steelers rub their bellies like they were little fucking wiener dogs or something. They didn't do that. Fields is fucking awesome.
He looked good.
He looked really good.
They had some design runs for him. He hit threw the deep ball well. Found Cole Kmet a lot. Seems like they're developing some chemistry.
Oh, why don't you get in on him that too?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, we have a rivalry about Cole Kmet. now.
I don't think we do have a rivalry.
I think
Either you
I
guys
think-
were. I don't know. It was
You told
you guys
me I
talked
said he
passionately
stinks.
last night
I
about
didn't
it.
say that. I said he hasn't been very good. He hasn't been very good. Last night he was good.
No, we just have to have cameras rolling at all times, I guess. But
We went over this and you conceded.
no, because we're in a box in
And
a
then
suite with high
I did
rollers
say
and
he's
10
soft.
people, and you keep saying he's soft, which is absurd. Like
I don't think
he
it is
never gets
absurd.
brought down by one guy.
I'm
ever.
saying at the line of scrimmage, like blocking.
He's a okay.
Cole Kmet watch.
Cole Kmet.
All right, this is the official start of
Yeah.
the Barstool Chicago Colt Kmet watch because we have two guys on.
Yeah,
Other ends.
I think he's a really good player and will be a good player. He's obviously not had the best.
So
start.
will he be or is he?
He will. He's his second year. He had Mitch Trubisky and Nick Foles last year as a rookie with Matt Nagy. And then this year he's had a couple of quarterbacks, and last night was his, like, you could say.
How many years did he end up with?
He
was
was drafted
yeah.
as a 21-year-old, and now he's 22 in year 2. He's developing chemistry with Fields. Like, it's starting to work. He didn't get a lot of snaps last year. Like, you saying he's soft and he's not good. Like, he's still, like, a very good.
I didn't say that.
You've said.
So
I said
my
he's
question:
not
would it
very
be soft
good.
or not good, or like where?
There's gray area. He hasn't been very good.
He's had a
Like-
couple of bad drops, but he's like a kid. Like he's
Yeah, of course.
right. But like you saying he's soft is like a character flaw, which is just absurd.
I don't think that is. That's like
It is.
That was
Every
his
time he
thing
touches
coming
the
into
ball,
the
it
draft.
takes 2 or 3
Of
guys
course,
to bring it
of
down.
course.
So that's
I'm not talking
soft.
about that. I'm talking about him blocking at the line of scrimmage. That's where I get that from.
you talk
had
about him like
multi-
he's Jimmy Graham.
He's not that bad. That's the extreme. He's definitely not that bad.
They targeted Jimmy Graham quite a little bit there.
Yeah,
in
and
the red
he's-
zone.
Towards the end.
They had that big catch. Yeah, that nice big catch over the middle.
He did something where I was like, "Fuck Jimmy Graham," and I forget exactly what it was.
I remember
Did he-
it was just like they threw it to him, and you're like, and he didn't catch it.
He went to a White
wasn't
Sox
open.
playoff game.
No. It was in the back of the end zone. I
Yeah.
think he didn't even really make an attempt. Like, granted,
He went up with one hand.
it's a lot harder to judge any sporting event when you're watching it live instead of on TV because the angles aren't as good and all that, and you don't get replay really. But I don't know. It was just something that pissed me off. I was like, what
Yeah.
the fuck was that? Because it looked like a lack of effort. But
Bears lose heartbreaker. Impressions of Heinz Field.
I thought Heinz Field was great.
the city looked.
I love Pittsburgh.
We Pittsburgh people now. We're like a sub Pittsburgh podcast. I think we became overnight.
I'm naming them our sister city. I don't know how to do that, but I'd like to name the Yinzers because they're just like nice people who like love their teams. Like that's like very Chicago. Like they just fucking love. They love the Stillers and they love the Penguins. And they love the Pirates, and it's like all like that. Like how intense Philly is with their sports teams without any like the fucking douchebags. So like that was my impression. That people were super nice at the tailgate.
yeah,
like,
super nice.
yeah.
Well, Dave made best friends
There
at
was
the game.
there wasn't any shit talking or anything, which like I kind of was taken back by.
Yeah.
Aback. Is it aback or back?
taken aback.
Taken aback.
Yeah.
I was taken aback.
But you can also
Bye.
be taken back.
To where?
Yeah, you could.
Okay, Chief.
JP Graziano's.
Speaking of which, our friends at are we doing one for Jim?
Yeah, aren't we?
We
have-
can.
He's on the list.
He
right?
definitely is.
Well,
I've
let's
been having it. I went in there
Hold
the
on a
other
second,
day.
because this is an important moment because I have the day in Pittsburgh to myself. I fly out tonight at 7. I know you guys are driving. I'm going to some time. So I'm going to find the best sandwich I can find. And I know that it's not going to fucking stack up at all to JP.
Not never
even at all. Like the fact that I get to go into Pittsburgh with a baseline of Jim Graziano is like, what's a good sandwich? I came into Pittsburgh with fucking Jimmy Graziano on my back. Like, show me a fucking Italian sub Pittsburgh. That's how lucky I am to be a JP Graziano.
So
guy.
you're going to walk around Pittsburgh today looking for what's potentially second place on the sandwich
the
rankings.
best they can do is second place.
The best they can do.
I was in the West Loop, I think it was last weekend, and we were deciding, like, oh, should we go home? Should we go to another bar? This and that. I'm like, let's just get sandwiches and go home.
Did you get a beef?
Oh, God.
Let's just hold on. So they were like, no, like, the group was like, let's go to one more bar, then we'll go. And I'm like, this feels like a mistake. This feels like a mistake. And then we go to the bar. We have like literally one drink. It was packed. And we go to. I'm like, all right, let's go to JP Graziano. And we like missed the window. Like the window closed.
That's tragic.
And like,
that's a tragedy.
I was like, you know what? I'm never going out with you guys again.
I would not recover.
Was that one drink worth what was going on at JP Graziano's? Absolutely not. And then so I went back the next day and got a.
Did you shoot him a fuck you text the next morning?
No, but people knew I was I kind of like I threw a little bit of a temper tantrum in the street on Randolph.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
there's people listening that said don't get to experience JP Graziano because you're not local or just it's inconvenient getting to the West Loop and stuff like that. Listen, Jim fucking came up with something so you could get a taste of him anywhere you are in the continental United States. I think Alaska. Just fucking get it anyway. TasteRealChicago.com. TasteRealChicago.com. The peppers, the moof, the beef kit. We got the whole thing there for everybody. This is not just a local thing. I'm just being proud of the fact, as a local guy, that I have Jim and those experiences.
Here's my number one tip. This is the stocking stuffer of the season.
Oh, my God.
Get that JP Graziano.
Can you imagine waking up to a fucking stocking full of mild moof and hot moof?
I couldn't.
Like I honestly think that makes it's like the perfect price point for a good stocking stuffer. You put it in there,
$15 or whatever. Yeah,
it's something I think it's $13.99, and that's something like you can enjoy like all through like Christmas break. It is going to be like if you're not doing that, you're fucking up. Like your family will really appreciate that. So get JP Graziano's. The
TasteRealChicago.com, or you can get it in person at 803 West Randolph, I believe.
Nope, 901 West Randolph.
901 West Randolph.
Randolph and Peoria.
Close. It's Randolph and Peoria. Where did I get 803 from? Did I used to live in an 803?
I have no idea.
It's like they were doing an ad read. I think his address is
that's the
that might be the funniest thing you've ever said.
I mean, I don't have the
it's just,
Google Maps up.
Yeah, I think
close.
you got casino brain from last night. Like that's
you're directionally correct. I was going to ask Chief.
I was only a block off.
Yeah,
for stocking stuffers this season, I think now that I list a great forecast, I want to make some money. I don't know if I short him or I long him, but I think the value of peppers is going to go up, and I want White Sox Dave to talk to his trading buddy from last night about getting us in on like the
commodities and the energies,
the pepper industry.
How are basically, Dave? What I'm asking you is,
what are peppers trading at right now?
What's the outlook for peppers globally right now?
I mean, long term, like right now, buy. That's correct, right? We want buy.
Yeah, we want to buy those peppers.
And
buy
then,
and hold. Buy and hold.
Buy and
Diamond
hold.
hands.
Buy these peppers.
Like,
you ever seen Trading Places?
I know what it is.
Okay.
Is that a TV show or movie?
Movie. Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd.
Oh yeah.
Well, they were trading oranges futures. They were trading oranges.
You are into trading avocados with the cartel, right?
They could do that, or you could just go to TasteRealChicago.com.
TasteRealChicago.com. All your jarred muffaletta needs. Go to 901 West Randolph. Late night windows open Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Italian. It's amazing. Go check it out, obviously. Okay, let's play a game called Who Had the Worst Time Out of This Room Leaving Heinz Field last night?
I think you guys probably did.
Yeah. We had an awful time.
Is it worse than leaving Soldier Field? Like, how does that compare?
I mean, so leaving Soldier Field is bad. And the last time I was at Soldier was for the Notre Dame Wisconsin game, and I did have to walk like way down like past your old apartment. Like I think I was up to like 14th Street and a few blocks over to get an Uber. Pittsburgh just doesn't have Ubers. They just don't have them.
I couldn't get one at fucking 3 a.m. last night when everything was dead already.
Yeah, so that was like we left the game and we're like, oh, let's walk another like 4 blocks. We'll see if we can get one up here. Just like nothing. And then I got a push notification from Uber saying all of our drivers are busy in Pittsburgh. It's like, what? Like, how can all of the drivers be busy? How can that be?
That's a ding for Pittsburgh.
And normally it's like, hell, someone's completing a ride, and then they'll get you, and it'll be like, might be 15 minutes. None of that. It was just like constantly looking for a driver. Like, nope, all the drivers in the whole city are busy.
Makes me want to move out here and be an Uber driver.
Clean
You'd
up.
have a monopoly.
I mean, there's no competition. There's
You could set your prices for like $50 a block.
They
really
people
price
would-
So
gouge.
we like leave Heinz Field, and it's like we'll just cross the river where all these people are walking. We'll start there,
And we're
like,
enjoying
there's
the
some-
sights.
yeah,
We
it's
saw the Willie
great.
Stargell statue, the Roberto Clemente statue.
It's
Like
beautiful fucking statues
I
and
believe
all
it.
that
I
stuff.
believe
We got to see the hockey arena.
Yeah, well, by accident.
I mean, now we're really starting to get there. Producer Tom is with. So the crew is now me, Chief, and Tom. The reason Eddie's not on the show, we should have said this off the top. He flew back with the Penn guys. I think they're doing the Dave show in person or something this week. And so Eddie leaves with Big Cat and Jersey Jerry and some of our Penn friends and all this stuff. So it's just kind of like us locally, me, Chief, Tom, Dave, and then a couple of these VIP guys from the suite. So we get outside and it's like, all right, well, where are we going? And it's already late. We've been drinking, long day of traveling. You guys drove in. And they're like, hey, you guys should come out with us. We're going to go to the casino. I look at Chief. I'm like, I am not doing the fucking casino. Like, I don't even know if I said anything to you. It was just like, Chief and I
was
just
a
had,
look.
like, we just had eyes. It was like, no way am I going out with these guys.
But
and
I
then
wa-
we make eye contact with White Sox Dave, and it was almost like the complete where
Dave-
we
I
make eye
couldn't have said
contact
yes
with him,
faster.
and you were like, Dave's
You made
100%.
You made eye contact with Dave, and he was already standing next to the guys going to the casino.
Yeah.
He's like, we're like,
I could not have said yes to that idea quicker.
Our side of the street is already going. It was like, okay, well,
And I'll say from a VIP perspective, when you guys say like you hear like, oh, Penn VIP suite, like, I mean, I'll just say like whatever you're thinking this guy spent on that game, it is so much more. The VIP thing's fucking real, and the guy's like, hey, I'm going to a casino. Who wants to hang out? White Sox stays with him. So the three of us are like, yeah, we'll get a fucking
All right,
cab.
so
We'll go over to the
we were on
hotel.
$50 minimums. I felt like a loser playing $50 minimums next to this guy, and every time I would lose a hand of blackjack, I would try not to like act like I cared about losing $50. And obviously, the casino won. My count carney did not work, and I walked out of there. Actually, I'll tell you. So I didn't have an ID. He gave me $500. I Venmo'd him, and so I got up on roulette. Like within 5 minutes, I was up over $2,000. I hit a few numbers with a couple chips on them, and so I'm like, all right, I got walking around money. Then he wanted to go to the high limit or high rollers room. I'm like, that's $2,000 a hand, man. Like you can go, I can't. And he's like, I want to sit next to you. I want to sit next to you. I want to sit next to you. So we went and played some craps. We played a lot of craps, and then blackjack. He was $10,000 a hand, just fucking. And he had like a house tab and everything.
Wait, he was $10,000 a hand of
a hand.
blackjack.
So he had like a tab. So whenever he wanted more money, he would just tell the casino, and they'd bring him a sack of $10,000. It was the wildest thing I've ever seen. I felt like a deadbeat loser.
If he drops like one of those chips, you're like,
and he offered to give me the $500 back. I didn't take it. I wanted to, but I didn't.
I like that, Dave.
Just because like I didn't want to look
Principle.
like a fucking loser next to this guy. Even though that $500 would have been nice.
He invited us out for like an extremely prestigious weekend at some like extremely hard to get onto golf club,
Country club.
Actually,
Yeah.
I couldn't
Yeah.
set fast. I'm like, this guy I mean, he doesn't, but
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm in 100% on whatever this guy.
He told me like
I'm your friend, buddy.
he asked me if I want to come there. I'm like, you do not want to golf with me. He's like, I will set you up with golf lessons. I'm like, I can't accept that, man. I can't accept it. But like, this guy's got legitimate, probably the most fuck you money I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
It was
Nice
awesome.
guy.
Super cool guy.
Yeah.
So while you were hanging out with him,
But like when he was betting all that money,
We're
like
walking through
it
the
wasn't. He wasn't like being cocky or anything about it
Right.
either. It was just like me betting $50. Like that's what he had to bet.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was sweet.
Sounds nice. We did not run into people like that on our way home.
we ran into the opposite.
Yeah.
We ran into people that would want to take your money,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not make you money, Dave. It was we walked. I think at one point we just made the conscious decision. We pulled it up. I think it was an hour
Yeah.
walk. We had been loading these Ubers,
That's a 3-mile walk.
Yeah, it was.
I thought it was a little bit. Most of which was gradually uphill at like an 11
I'm
degree.
sure, yeah.
Yeah. Pittsburgh's a
Pitch.
very hilly city.
Did you check your odometers or whatever?
My step counter,
Pedometers.
my step counter was broken. Now it was interesting because I thought Tom's here. Tom, you're New York, Tom.
Yeah.
Like you're from New York,
Yeah.
and
Scary.
no one brought it up. We weren't. It wasn't until we were like, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to shit. It was like 10 minutes into we
I
committed,
was.
and then Tom and Ted said something to Chief or something. Was like, hey, this isn't exactly the safest part of town.
Well,
is it?
we actually like made a
Well-
joke. We're like, because we're on 5th Street,
It's just you three, correct?
just us, and we're on 5th Street and we're walking, and it's like a nice part of like the downtown. And we're like, haha, like, can you imagine? Like, we're like, let's just walk home. We just walk on the street, and it like turns into like this really sketchy, dangerous area. And it's like, and then like within a half hour, it's like, oh my god, that came true.
It was right. Right. Like, it was like right after the hockey arena.
Yeah.
So anyone listening from Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
that's what we did.
Yeah, it was hockey arena to the University of Pittsburgh campus.
Right.
Yeah.
Just a
on,
straight
what,
shot.
on 5th Avenue or 5th Street?
I think it's 5th something. Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's
so-
definitely 5th, and we were there on that street the entire time.
the only people on the sidewalk.
Yeah. Well, then, except for there was that one stretch where it was like, oh
yeah.
man.
We passed the Shell gas station.
You're right. And there were just like a lot of people like on the street, like hanging out.
Yeah.
Like, let's power walk through this area.
A lot of night crawlers.
Yeah.
But let's get Tom a pack of cigs first.
Stop off for
I
some
had to.
cigs.
Yeah, it was the type of gas station where it's like the spinning
Yeah.
mechanism,
Right.
Of like the gas station window,
Right. The bulletproof glass.
Yeah, the
window,
kinds
yeah.
that you find in only like certain parts of town.
Right. So,
Well lit gas station, I mean, really was a beacon of light in all
Yeah.
It
material
was,
respect.
yeah. It was like
Did you burn a heater?
he burned several. Like Tom was lighting our way home.
Well, his lighter went out.
So
His
that-
lighter went out, so he just had to keep lighting cigs off of like the
Yeah,
last
yeah, yeah.
remaining cig. And then he's keep in mind Tom's smoking American spirits here. These cigs have like a fucking 12-minute burn rate on them, and he gets back to the hotel. He's like, "This is like my 4th cigarette. I'm gonna
Yeah.
collapse the smoke inhalation."
Yeah, I like didn't even want to be smoking the cigarettes, but I had to have one lit at all times because my lighter was like, it was like some type of miracle. Like once I got these pack of cigs, I must have had one ignition left in my lighter because I lit my cigarette,
And that was it.
and then that was it.
Yeah.
I gave it to Carl, and Carl's like, "This is dead." So then we had to just chain light cigarettes, and I was like, I need to keep a cigarette lit at all times, so I have a flame.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. It was like these are staying on like it's like Hanukkah.
Yeah, I can't
It's
say
like,
I
how
know.
is a cigarette lasting for 8 days?
It was like the eternal. It was like the eternal like Olympic torch. Like I was.
It's the
Yeah,
eternal
like that,
flame.
yeah.
Yeah. We lit our way home.
We made it back though, and maybe we probably don't take that walk again. I'll say the walk from Heinz Field to the hotel is longer than my flight home to Chicago.
Eddie was probably in his hotel in New York and in bed by the time we got home.
1,000%.
Unbelievable.
1,000%.
I just don't know. Like we didn't do anything wrong. Like what else were you supposed to do if you go to a
we had to
Pittsburgh
walk too
Steelers
last
game
night.
and you
Yeah.
need to go somewhere else after the Steelers game? How do you get anywhere? There's just no cabs.
No cabs.
So I don't
Yeah.
know what we were supposed to do there.
I don't know if there's like a safer way to do it. Like, but it kind of is just like this is where our hotel is. So like we just looked at the map and like that was the joke. Like, oh, what if this street turns into like dangerous? And then it did.
We're safe and sound though, guys.
Yeah.
And you guys have a big drive ahead of you. I applaud and commend you. I think there's some jealousy out there. A lot of people who want to do a road trip with Eddie. Did it live up to the billing? Was he a good road
It was
trip
fun.
guy?
Yeah. I thought it went by pretty quick. So
It did. It went very quick.
7 hours. We made one pit stop at this on the Ohio Turnpike, where they just had shout out my dad. They had zero food options there. Those guys got Burger King. My dad banned Burger King in 1997, so I got Sbarro.
Oh,
And
nice.
it was the worst Sbarro I've ever seen.
Oh, it
was-
looked like deep dish.
It was like a
wasn't
double
deep
dough.
dish. Yeah.
Yeah, it was brutal.
So you still
Now,
are
Carl.
maintaining a 24-year ban on?
Yeah.
Nice.
I,
Good for you.
Now, who controls the DJ music on a road trip?
I mean, you and I don't do this to me, Dave, because it should be the person in the front seat. It should be.
Thank you.
But when you and I road tripped out to Iowa, you
rotated.
refused to sit in the front seat next to me. You had to sit all the way in the back, and we had to pass the aux cord all the way back, and it made for a night because Dave is a good DJ.
Yeah, he's a good
I'll
music
give
guy.
Dave credit. Dave is knowledgeable about music. He knows his shit. He knows the songs. He knows the
played
fucking
good music.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Dave.
But it is not at any
you by far
circumstance.
play the best music out of the four of us. By far.
I would say you do.
now
like,
we're
we
gonna
play the
compliment
same
each
music,
other.
but-
yeah, but you have a deeper knowledge. I'll say that. So
Anyways,
my point is, I'm
It's
comfortable
never
with
the
Dave.
driver. Eddie,
It should never be the driver.
ever. Under any circumstances.
Eddie wanted to have it on Sirius, and
I
but I
threw it
also-
on Spotify.
I also think he just likes to needle you. So I think it was.
but
a
no,
little
he
bit
was
of that.
serious though.
I don't know that he was.
I think he was. And I wasn't about. I had to put my foot down.
He wants to trust somebody else pulling the strings like outside the car for the music. Maybe.
I had. we
Did
had
you take
good
it personally?
jams going. No, I wasn't like. I'll lose battles to win wars, and I was not losing that battle. I was fucking going down. I like swinging with that one. I was. Because, no, I wanted to come here Sunday so I could see the town a little bit, and these guys didn't want to, which is fine, whatever.
No. Go
that
back
was
to
the concession I was not going to make.
You didn't just. You were like mad we didn't come here on Sunday.
I was annoyed. I don't know if mad was the right word. I was annoyed because I didn't want to. I don't like the feeling of being rushed.
Did you feel rushed?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, I thought it was an easy drive. I thought we were,
No, it was
but
an easy
like-
drive, but
But
like
like you wanted to go and do like the sightseeing.
I wanted to like go to Permanente Bros or whatever,
Yeah.
like do that, and I don't know.
Well,
14 hours in a 24-hour stretch is a lot of driving.
It is.
should have stayed with us. We had the full Pittsburgh
We had the full,
experience.
we
last
saw
night.
everything.
I saw more of Pittsburgh than I think I have of Chicago last night.
Yeah, probably.
I could take
honestly, maybe me too.
Worth noting, though, I would move to Pittsburgh based on like a very short window in here.
This is your first time here?
Yeah, second.
It's my first time here. It's beautiful.
a
If
really
someone was
nice
like
city.
gun to your head, like you have to move to Pittsburgh, I would be like, put the gun away. I'm going.
I've
to
never
Pittsburgh.
really heard about
What are you
like
doing?
Pittsburgh being sweet or bad. I kind of just heard of Pittsburgh.
I think it like had a major like renaissance like 20 years ago.
Okay.
So, they built all those stadiums, they rebuilt the downtown. Like I think that was like a big like
If you do like a circle from like Pittsburgh through Cleveland, Detroit, Chicago, Minneapolis, St. Louis, and like Memphis and back around, like all those cities are just complete shitholes.
I don't hate the Twin Cities at all.
Minneapolis
I thought you were gonna
is
say
okay.
something nice.
No,
I
no,
really thought
mean,
you were gonna be like
Detroit
that would
sucks,
be a
Cleveland
good enough,
sucks, St.
We should
Louis
do our
is
own
the
sports
worst.
leagues. I thought
No,
there was
that's
gonna
what I'm
be
saying.
some,
But like out of all of those cities that I've been to, Pittsburgh is.
I like the Twin Cities.
No, the Twin Cities is okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
they're great.
I
Yeah.
haven't.
They're like
I haven't
very
been
highly
there in a couple
regarded.
of, since I was 15 or so.
Okay.
They're some of the most publicly like clean and taken care
Yeah.
of.
Crime rates are absurd in Minnesota.
Everywhere. Everywhere.
But
yeah, I
talking
would
about, like,
agree.
the
I would
bus
say
schedule and the fucking-
Pittsburgh is much better than the other ones you named.
yes, all of them.
Yes.
Those are all shithole cities.
Terrain
Sorry,
is
St.
not
Louis.
favorable here, though. This is unfavorable terrain.
Yeah.
for a bunch of fat mid like
Look, these
Chicago
Air Force
guys.
Ones don't play in the wintertime.
No,
here,
these would not do well for what you got your Brooks on.
Oh, by the way, I thank you. I got new Brooks.
Brooks are
Flossed
great
out. Yeah,
shoes.
these are good shoes. Chief twisted ankle last night. Ankle update.
It was a little swollen, but it's a little stiff, but we're fine.
You know what we could have used last night?
Let me see it.
A car from Chevy
It's the
Land.
fucked up one.
The fact that there was no Chevy on the road last night was kind of disappointing. I would have loved to have a Chevy take me home last night.
Oh God.
Could you imagine getting into a fucking nice Chevy? The guy, you get in the car, the guy's like, hey, here's your Chevy. And you're like, thank you, sir. And he was like, I know this isn't going to sound, but it's from a Chicagoland Chevy dealer. And he's like, I listened to Redline Radio. I heard there were no Ubers. I moved out here. I drove my Chicagoland Chevy. I'm driving.
Where'd he go for that?
He went to a number of dealers. He went to
ChevyDriveChicago.com.
He went to ChevyDriveChicago.com.
Typed in his zip.
He was like, I want
populates a bunch of fucking Chevy dealerships in his immediate area.
Well, what do they have there?
I mean, the maintenance, especially before the bowels of winter.
You got to get it done.
You got to get it done now because you don't want to get it done when there's 2 feet of snow on
No.
the ground.
You got to get your oil changed. Make sure your brakes are tight.
Tires, especially.
Tires too. Make sure they're not bald. There's nothing worse that I've done this before. Where like I'm not a big car guy, so historically I've made this mistake once when I was in my early 20s. I didn't really like keep up with the maintenance.
Yeah,
right?
you got to.
And then the winter comes, and you go to slam on the brakes, and you just don't have the right tires, and you just kind of skid. and you skid, and you skid,
see
and
that
you skid,
car in front of you,
and you just ding it, and you're like, fuck. If I had just gotten in front of this, I would have avoided the accident, the headache, the insurance, the whole fucking thing.
Worst.
I did it on Randall Road. It was a slight downgrade, and just bumped into the guy, and he was just
Randall Road.
He was
Randall
perfect.
Road's a great road too.
I fucking hate Randall Road, and but it just like there's like nothing you can do. There's just nothing. I'm just cruising at like 2 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour downhill, and I just bump into the guy who stopped at a red light, and it's like my bad.
And it's like if you went to ChevyDriveChicago.com,
Take
found
care
a
of all
dealer,
that.
service, parts, maintenance. Dave, I know you like getting your tires rotated regularly.
There is nothing better than a good rotation of tires.
Stay on top of all your standard vehicle maintenance to keep your car in the best shape. Schedule your oil changes, brake checks.
Got it.
Huge.
Need it.
I got mine
By the way,
a couple months ago.
speaking of brake checks,
In August or so, July or August, I went to ChevyDriveChicago.com, got my new brakes.
I'm not joking. Tommy Boy on Netflix, one of the all-time great Netflix editions. 'Cause
Oh,
the brake
they just
pads,
added
yeah,
it?
it's on.
Oh, I
It's
didn't know.
the
I didn't
be-
see
I've-
that.
Why is that? I mean, it's just on TV so much that I wouldn't like.
Oh, it's
as
not.
much
I don't think
anymore.
so.
Yeah.
I watched it all the way. I watched
I
the
feel like
first
I watch
time I
Tommy
sat down
Boy
when
like
they
2-3
added it,
times
and
a
they
year.
watched it all the way through. I was like, God, this is so. It's the hardest I laugh at any movie.
And there
I've-
is
I see
it
regularly.
does hit a little different when there's no commercials. too.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So he's selling brake pads. Chevy Drive Chicago is doing brake checks. That's
Yeah.
the point there. Go to ChevyDriveChicago.com for all your automotive maintenance needs. I know you guys are going to be fucking ripping it up in that Suburban on the drive home
Yep.
Yep.
because Chevy's awesome.
It
Hey
is
Tom,
awesome.
do you know you could get a good look at a bull's ass by sticking your head up it? But wouldn't you rather take the butcher's word for it?
Yeah, that's from Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
Not so much here. What's your favorite quote, Tom?
It was that one.
Which one?
The one you
the
just
bull's
did.
ass?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, Trip, what's the server's name who he's like, can I have a wing? And she's like, kitchen's closed. What's her name?
Tammy.
Anybody?
Irma.
Anybody?
No.
He goes, Helen, that's nice.
Yeah.
You look like a Helen.
You look like a Helen.
That's nice. Helen, that's nice. You
She does look like a Helen, though.
Looked
She
like
does
a
look
Helen.
like a Helen. Okay, a couple closing notes here. Tuesday, Red Light Radio, as we make our maiden, or we
A little
return
time
from
out
our
quickly.
maiden
We got to
voyage.
talk Colleton quickly.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously, I was like, a floor, please.
Huge fucking deal. Honestly, like, I'm kicking myself a little bit. Hawks play Pittsburgh tonight in Chicago. We should have done like a Bears Hawks
Rotate.
parlay.
Yeah.
Bears versus Pittsburgh something. Fuck that up. That's on me. It's the second time I did that. Bulls played Pistons the same day that Detroit played the Red Wings with
Lions.
Blackhawks. The Colleton thing. Look at you're 1-9 and they were 1-9-2. You know, like people are starting to make excuses for him, but ultimately, like he never should have been hired for that job. There's only one person in the world who would have hired him. It was Stan Bowman because he's like, you know, he's an egomaniac who wanted to control everything. He wanted to put a neophyte in there. If he had hired a real hockey guy, they would have had a problem. Colleton, impossible position. Team COVID, team sucked, roster sucked. And they had the whole sexual assault thing come out this year that was weighing on the team. They got off to a bad start. Ultimately, though, he just wasn't good enough. He wasn't good enough. He wasn't ready. They bring in Derek King. Derek King makes a few tweaks and changes. Everybody looks relaxed. The first game that they beat Nashville, and that was the best game they played all year. Jake McCabe, that was a big free agent signing. That was his best game all year. He looked like the guy that they thought they were getting. And then Dylan Strome. Dylan Strome, Colleton just fucking hated him. He fucking hated him. I don't know why. He fucking hated him. Wouldn't put him with people who could like use his talents. Put him in a like fourth line left wing when he really should be like an offensive minded center. Derek King comes in. I love Derek King. I just love his face. He looks exactly like Walter White. Exactly like him. Like I hope he
Does he look like Carl?
if a little
If he had
bit.
glasses?
Carl grew out the goatee and then put on glasses, he would look a lot like Carl too.
I like it.
And
the guy.
but he puts Dylan Strome at center first game. Strome has his best game of the year. So it's just like there are like these ego things that were like, I'm smarter, I'm better, I'm gonna have this thing going, doing what I think is right. All these fucking loser play. I shouldn't say that. All these guys who are like fringe NHL, probably AHL guys that Colleton would put in the lineup ahead of Strome. It was preposterous. So now they got Pittsburgh tonight, Wednesday night. I think that they, now they're going to start, I think, playing a little loose, a little bit better. The hole's probably too big to do anything and make the playoffs. But it'll be nice not to just be dreading every single game. Like, I'm not dreading watching the game tonight. And it's just like
dread.
Yeah,
that's a word you never want to be using around your sports teams. Or like an emotion or any of that. Like, I'm anxious. I don't even want to be. I don't want to watch. Ugh.
Yeah,
where it's a chore to watch your team.
And it's been like that for years. And so it was nice to see them play well defensively. Like, they probably would have killed Nashville, but Saros had like a very good game in net for the Preds. So. But they dominated that game start to finish. I think they'll play well. Like, I don't think digging out of this hole is going to be nearly impossible. But
if you're Jeremy Collin, what do you do right now? Do you just like go coach minor league or juniors or something?
I don't know. Like, that was the thing. Like, his resume was terrible to begin with. So like he was a player. He was hired. He was playing over in Sweden because he had a bunch of injuries, concussions. But he's trying to like restart his career as a player in Sweden. Then they make him the player coach. And he's like, I guess I'll just coach. And he takes a team from the Swedish B League, and they do the same thing in soccer as hockey over there. So he gets them promoted, but then they were like a middling team in the A League. Stan hires him. He does like 1 year in Rockford where they were fine, and a little playoff run with a veteran team, which a lot of guys could have accomplished that. And then fired Joel and put him in, and then gave him a contract and gave him another contract. It was crazy. Like, he did nothing to earn that job. He did nothing to earn the extension. What he does now, I think he's like bright, but like he was just way too green. Like, he was just like, there's too much like hubris. And so I think it's one of those things where like he might have to go to college for like a minute, maybe the minors, maybe juniors, something like that. He'll get another job, and I think he'll get another NHL job eventually too. But like, he was not ready for this job at this time with this group. And it was a complete failure. And it's not even really his fault. It's really Stan's fault. It's really actually Stan's fault. Like, nobody would have ever hired him. He needed probably another 10 years of learning how to be a coach before coming to the NHL. Legitimately 10 years. He got hired at 34 years old. Like,
I'm 34.
Exactly.
What the fuck?
Right. But he was like not.
You're
33. But he's like not qualified. He was never qualified for that job. And it's like, well, here we are. Like, it's completely predictable. So I am excited for the game tonight. Patrick Kane, Seth Jones, Jonathan Taves looked awesome in that last game. Kirby Dach's looking better. Strome looked really good. JPK looked better. So like, there's like the talent. Like I said at the beginning of the year, I think it's going to be like a wild card team. And now I think they might start playing that way,
like to their true talent.
Yeah, which is like maybe a little bit above 500 the rest of the way. And that's what I mean. Like, they'd have to be well above 500 the rest of the way to make the playoffs. So I think if they're playing to their talent level, they're probably a little bit above 500, and that's going to leave them like just a little bit short. But they're not going to be an embarrassment, I don't think, anymore.
Well, I mean, credit to them for not being an embarrassment.
Yeah.
And I mean, good luck to, I guess. You don't like
they
seeing
needed
to
burn
job,
it down and go scorched earth.
Yeah.
The sooner that happened, the better.
Yeah, everything was so toxic.
Everything about it seemed like,
and it's been that way. People don't even know this. It's been toxic like that since 2010, unrelated to the beach stuff. So unrelated to Kyle Beach, there's all sorts of toxicity with that organization, the infighting, the creepiness.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're the worst. So now it's like you got a new guy in charge, new coach, new GM. I like Kyle Davidson. Kyle Davidson, if you're listening to this, come on the podcast. And yeah, and then we'll just see how it goes day by day. But it's better, and I'm glad Colleton's gone. I'm thrilled Stan is gone.
Predictions for
better late than never.
Predictions for your drive back to Chicago tonight. Number of stops. Is there a stop you have in mind?
Probably one stop.
But we didn't really plan the last stop either.
We didn't.
I would like to avoid that Ohio Turnpike rest stop. I'll say that. I'd like to stop somewhere else, and I would like to get a sausage McMuffin with a hash brown. Well, cheers to that, Dave.
Yeah, I like that. A little brown action.
Tom, you in for that?
What time do they stop? I want some
10:30.
browns.
So we got to
go. Yeah.
Go get changed, Tom.
All right.
Tom, upload this podcast.
Yeah. Hurry up.
Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast, but we got to cut it, guys.
I'm going
to
be really pissed if that Colleton rant costs us Browns because he's not worth it.
I do know that like there are people listening here that are like, dude, guys, stop. Go get your Browns. Like, what are you doing? We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Thank you very much. Great trip out to Pittsburgh.
We'll talk about this later, but Carlos Rodon, I got some issues with what's going on with that right now. But we'll talk about that Thursday.
Heavy hot stove Thursday.
Yeah,
heavy hot
Thursday.
stove Thursday. Yep. Until then, all gas.
No breaks.
DJ, play that shit.